Sexual design. I want to talk about this because it's so important. We are not made the same sexually. You know, I've been in a laboratory of sexuality with couples for over 3 decades. I've learned a whole lot that I didn't know. But one thing I absolutely know is we are not the same. We don't think, experience, or feel sexuality in the same way, that we actually have different sexual expressions. I have a book called Upgrade Your Sex Life, and that'd be a great read after this video for sure. But in that book, I talk clearly about what I call the 5 sexual expressions. And this means that your spouse, probably like at the 98% level, has a different sexual expression than you do. Now, why I want to talk about this, and I'm going to do it in a very broad way, you can get more specific information in the book as far as walking some of this out. But it's really important you understand it, because so many couples miss each other, almost like the love languages. You know, one person wants gifts and one person wants time, but they keep giving what they want instead of what the other person actually receives. And so that's where the gap can be. And I find that with sexuality as well, that people come at sexuality the way they're designed, and they wonder why the other person isn't designed that way. And they get frustrated when that person doesn't seem to figure out how to connect to them sexually. And I'm talking couples, this can take 10, 20, 30, 40 years before they kind of really figure it out if they don't have the language for it. You know, as a therapist, one of the things that I find most helpful is giving language to couples so they can have the conversations. And that's part of what this is about. So I'm going to talk about 5 sexual expressions very quickly so you can at least go, I think that's me. And maybe start a dialogue about that. And I would recommend Upgrade Your Sex Life to really walk through how to accelerate that with each other. What to say during the foreplay, the initiation, the sex act, and even afterwards, based on how they're actually designed, their own sexual expression. Imagine having the key to unlock how your spouse is made sexually, and to be able to open that door intelligently, and to be able to speak things to them at every level of the arc of sexuality in a way that means something to them, that arouses them, that awakens them, that makes them feel more pleasure than if you're going at it from the way you are made. So let's go into this. Number 1, fun. The fun sexual expression is someone who wants sexuality and fun at the same time. They want to be playful. They want to engage. They want to be the lover. You know, they're going to want this to be more than just an act. Like, are you with me? Are we being playful? Are you enjoying me? The fun sex expression person really enjoys sex, but sex with fun takes it to another level. The next one, desire. This person's primary sexual expression is being wanted. And I can tell you, most men fall into this category. Most men, what they're looking for is to be wanted, not to be loved. They want to hear that they're desired, that they're hungered for, that they're craved. Now, when you speak that language into someone who has a desire sexual expression, it maximizes the experience for them. Okay, and again, this isn't about being needy or being narcissistic or anything like that. This is just how they're designed. And granted, every one of these can be healthy or unhealthy. Okay, I'm just talking in the general sense right now. The next one is pleasure. This person really likes to experiment with pleasure, to try different things, to try to accentuate pleasure, because really for them, sex and pleasure, finding new ways to pleasure, being pleasured and giving pleasure is kind of like, they're like the sex scientists. They want to figure out another way or a different thing. And again, it's not necessarily to control. It's just that they want to have some kind of, hey, we haven't tried that. I wonder what it would be if we did this. And they're constantly coming up with different combinations, which if you're not a pleasure sexual expression, you might be confused as to why this person, are they not happy? Yeah, they're totally happy. It'd just be fun if we did this. It would be more pleasurable, or maybe we can do this longer or differently. So that person is very motivated by discovering pleasure, extending pleasure, and accentuating pleasure. Number 4 is patience. Now, this is the person, doors need to be locked, things need to be safe, we're going to spend time together. And so when you invite this person to sexuality, it's totally different than if you're inviting a fun person to sexuality. Fun person's like, hey, do you want to go have some fun? Absolutely. You say to a patient person, do you want to have some fun? They go, no, not really. It's not what I'd rather be invited to, time. Can we have time? Patience wants to be touched. Foreplay is massively important to the patient sexual expression. And they feel usually gypped if they don't have a decent amount of time. That's different for every person, but a decent amount of time of just being touched, stroked, scratched, caressed, talked to, loved on, kissed on, all of that to get the motor going. And now again, if you're not a patient's sexual expression, all this work seems maybe arduous or unnecessary or complicated or something for you because you're trying to interpret in your own sexual expression. Better just accept this is the way this sexual expression works. This is the sexual expression I'm married to. And I want to figure out how to maximize that for him or her. And, generally, there's a lot of women who fall in this category. Okay. The last one is acceptance and celebration. They really want to know that you are into them, that you accept them, that you're friends, that you appreciate them, that you're celebrating their beauty, their gifts, their intelligence, their sensuality. You're just so happy because they're them. And that really makes their sexuality blossom and accelerates the pleasure for them. So each person has a different sexual expression. I've given you a thumbnail so that you can at least go, oh, we're different. Now, the book, Upgrade Your Sex Life, will help you walk through the language part of that. It would take me a whole another 3 hours to go through that. But it gives you an idea of maybe where we're missing it. So in recovery, we want to find those blind spots that maybe have been there before because of a lack of language, a lack of understanding, not necessarily because of addiction or because of our family of origin, just education. And move us towards a really healthy, happy sexuality that says, hey, you're different than me. I know how you're different than me. And I'm going to really capitalize on that knowledge to be able to pleasure you and to make this fun for you and to drive you crazy in a positive, healthy way. This isn't about just an act. It's about connecting to someone who's made different than you, knowing they're different than you, and being that for them and being that gift to them at that time and them being that gift to you and going back and forth in this reciprocity of sexuality.